Corey, what's up? Amy, how you doing? Here putting furniture together. What you putting together? What you putting together? Is it a huge pain in the ass? Caitlin just subscribed with Prime Gaming. Thank you so much. Welcome in. Welcome. How are you? All right, cheers. Oh, whoops. A gabagool. Hey, Burbles. Cheers. I need to clean the bong water. Yummy. C-sits. Cheers. Caitlin, cheers. Baldur's Gate 3 is a bitch to play. How so? How is Baldur's Gate 3 a bitch to play? Hello, Corey from YouTube as well. Not moldy? Well, I don't know about mold. Well, I'm not gonna lie. I've decided better of myself. There's probably mold in there. Yeah, there's probably. There's probably. I really need to change the water. I'm gonna do that. Yeah. I'm gonna change the water. Okay, I'll change the water. Oh, thank you, Hype Train. Look at that. I don't know. What was that? Where was it? It was something. It's something. All right, the bong water has been switched. I feel better about it. I'm less self-conscious. I'm less self-conscious about it now. Is any song playing? Is it we're just sitting in silence? Just very quiet. Very quiet. Cheers, Hemingway. It's also, we got a lot to watch, so. Throw back an edible too, even though they taste terrible. I should take two. Blech. Tastes terrible. Ah, good God. They don't sell any edibles that don't taste like shit by me. There used to be this, there used to be, like, this farmer's market for, like, weed stuff and some extra things. There was also other stuff there. There was some other stuff there, too. But some, like, loser reported them to the police. Some loser reported them all to the police, and then they got busted. So then, all of a sudden, everything came more expensive. Or retail, keep it simple. Yeah, fair. They don't sell Wild Bayou. I don't know. I don't think so. I also, like, my problem is as well, I can only order from places that'll deliver because I don't have a car. And I live in upstate New York, so it's not like I, just walk down the street and have places available to me. You need a car. So I have to get it delivered, and the shit that is available to be delivered is all gross. And they don't sell it in high quantities. I'd prefer to buy, like 100 to 200 milligram edibles. So I can have like one of those. But unfortunately, they have delivery. Yep. Yeah, they have delivery here. One thing that I've gotten before that didn't taste bad, but it was mislabeled, was this like Willy Wonka looking chocolate bar. It was labeled as 100 milligrams per bar, but it was 100 milligrams per square. How many do you think I ate? Me thinking it's 100 milligrams per bar. How many of these 100 milligram squares do we think that Seth ate? Half of the fucking candy bar. The answer is half of the candy bar. And my God, I was so high. That's like, what? There had to be like 6 or 8 pieces of candy. Maybe 9. It might be even. 3, 6, 9. Yeah, something like that. Either way, I felt like I was dying for 3 hours. And I'm like, I don't know what the hell it could be. I don't know what it could be. I don't understand. Yeah, I figured out what it was. All right, so. Fuck. Okay, let's start with this. Yeah, it's one of the few times that I was high enough that it was not fun at all. That was one of the high enough times where I was like, you know what? Not super fun right now. It's pretty hard for me to get to a point now that is not fun, at least in some capacity. Maybe my idea of fun has changed, though. Maybe my idea over time, especially like this year, of what would be fun has like changed. All right, so. Here we go. That's muted. Okay, hold on. Going back.
Good afternoon, everyone. Packed house here today, and
what? God, the answer, it reminded me of a school.
Have a very
like
special
being in
guest
class.
with us,
Good
the
afternoon.
Vice President of the United States. He'll deliver some remarks and take some questions. First, I just want to share remarks of my own. Democrats in Congress have officially shut down the United States government. House Republicans passed a nonpartisan, clean piece of legislation to extend current government funding until November 21st. But nearly every single Democrat senator voted against this bill. To be clear, this was the exact same bill that Democrats approved 6 short months ago in March, just adjusted for inflation. This is the same kind of clean funding bill that Democrats passed 13 separate times when they held the majority during Joe Biden's administration. So the American people woke up this morning and asked the obvious question: why is the government shut down right now? The answer is pure partisan politics being played by the Democrat Party. The Democrats shut down the government because President Trump and the Republicans will not force American taxpayers to pay for free health care for illegal aliens. America is $37 trillion in debt. We cannot afford to provide taxpayer-funded free health care to illegals who broke the law to enter our country.
I'm high enough right now that every time I'm looking up at Caroline at, like, maybe it's just the distance and her makeup today. I don't know. I keep just like playing songs from the How the Grinch Stole Christmas and thinking of the Who's from Whoville every time I
To
look
put
up.
this all into perspective, the Democrats refuse.
I know
to
she
keep the
normally looks
government
like a Who
open
from
over
Whoville, but it's like
healthcare to
extra
illegal
today.
Aliens, and now have jeopardized critical healthcare programs for American citizens instead. The Women, Infants, and Children program, community health center funding, Medicare treatment options, and other health programs are now all at risk because of the Democrats rejecting the Clean CR. The most vulnerable in our country are being punished because the Democrats want to prioritize illegals over American citizens.
You know, JD
And if
Vance has the
Democrats
like
actually
pudgy
cared
face
about
too to play the
healthcare, they would
Grinch.
applaud the actions
JD
taken
Vance
by
could
President
totally
Trump
be
just
the Grinch.
yesterday in
I
the
don't think
Oval
his heart could
Office.
ever grow
He
a
took
couple sizes
bold
though.
and massively popular action to improve our healthcare system. He announced the first agreement with a major pharmaceutical company, Pfizer, to lower drug costs for Americans. This is a historical achievement long sought by past Democrat presidents that only President Trump was able to get done. Also yesterday, while the Democrats were whining about health care for illegal aliens, President Trump signed a powerful executive order to supercharge American AI innovation and unlock cures for pediatric cancer patients in the United States.
Down with, oh my God, yeah, they're talking about the thing where Donald Trump is saying he's going to cure children's cancer by allowing them to take all the info and put it into AI.
While President Trump took action to lower drug prices and improve the lives and the care of American children with cancer, again, Democrats are fighting to give health care benefits to illegal aliens. The Trump administration is fully committed to.
No, you know what they need to do? They need to do like someone needs to make like an AI edit of Caroline Levitt standing at the podium and speaking into the microphone, but instead of speaking to the press, she's directly speaking to like Horton in Horton Hears a Who. Horton, can you hear me? It's me, Caroline Levitt. Coming in. Hello.
Lowering healthcare costs and advancing policies that will save American lives. But right now, we need to keep the government open and funded. And individuals and organizations across the political spectrum, across the
or the
country
Lorax.
agree with
If it's the
Trump
Lorax,
administration
if it's
and
the Lorax, I want like a John Wick edit of the Lorax, just like in the Donald Trump admin. I want like a John Wick Lorax.
The Teamsters, Sean O'Brien, sent a very blunt message to Democrats over their destructive antics. He said American workers are not bargaining chips. Senators need to stop screwing around and pass the House-passed clean short-term funding bill. The U.S. Chamber of Commerce, the world's largest business organization, called to immediately pass the Republican Clean CR, saying, quote, shutdowns are harmful to the economy, the American people, and our national security. And even Democrat Senators Cortez Masto and Fetterman acknowledged that their party is betraying the American people with this costly and chaotic Democrat shutdown. Enough is enough. Democrats need to stop sabotaging our country and holding the American people hostage.
Get to the questions, Carolyn.
Democrats need to do their jobs. The American people want the government reopened, and this is proven in a New York Times poll showing that 2 in 3 Americans say the government should not be shut down by the Democrats, even if their absurd demands are not met. The president and Republicans are working very hard to reopen the federal government. The vice president here has been crucial in this effort. We encourage all Americans across the country,
talks first. Damn
call
it.
your Democrat senators and encourage them to reopen the government. That's what President Trump and the vice president want to do. And with that, I will turn it over to our great vice president, J.D. Vance.
Great.
Oh my God.
Turn it over
Oh my God.
to reopen the government. That's what President Trump
Hold on.
and the vice president want to do.
Let
And
me
with
see.
that,
Look at her fucking makeup line. Ugh. Look at that Republican ass makeup. Holy shit. Cindy Lou Who, you need to lay off of like the movie theater get
turn
up.
it over to our great vice president.
What the hell? Got some stage makeup on.
Well, thank you, Carolina, and good afternoon to everybody, and good afternoon.
Did you call her Carolina? Starting strong, JD. Starting strong.
J.D. Vance.
Great. Well, thank you, Carolina, and good afternoon to everybody, and good afternoon to everybody who's watching at home. It's a tough act to follow. But
Good
let me
evening,
say a few
Carolina.
things, then I'll take a few questions. Number one, Democrats say that they care a lot about lowering health care costs, and yet, when the president took historic action to work with the drug companies to lower prescription drug prices, the Democrats did nothing to help us. In fact, we would have loved to have the Democrats helping us, but they didn't. They talk about doing something. They don't actually do the hard work of making it happen. What they have done instead is to shut down the government because we won't give billions of dollars to healthcare funding for illegal aliens. That is what is.
I'd like to see JD Vance and Carolina Levitt do like a makeup face swap. I want to see JD Vance in like full glammed out Republican makeup, and I want to see Caroline Levitt with just his like eye outline.
Actually happened. To the American people who are watching, the reason your government is shut down at this very minute is because, despite the fact that the overwhelming majority of congressional Republicans and even a few moderate Democrats supported opening the government, the Chuck Schumer AOC wing of the Democratic Party shut down the government because they said to us, we will open the government, but only if you give billions of dollars of funding for health care for illegal aliens. That's a ridiculous proposition. Let me say two other quick things, and then again, I'll take some questions. Number one, we all
is he going to take all the questions, huh?
Republicans have policy disagreements. The Democrats want to do things. Look, when Chuck Schumer and Jim Jeffries were in here a couple of days ago, they made some suggestions that the president was more than happy to say, yes, let's sit down and talk about how we can solve the healthcare crisis that we inherited from the Biden administration. But it's one thing to say that we should solve the healthcare crisis for Americans. It's another thing to say that we're going to shut down the government unless we give the Democrats every single thing that they want, which, as Caroline says, includes giving billions of dollars of taxpayer funding for healthcare for
everything.
That's
oh my
ridiculous.
God!
You don't.
I exactly called everything that would be happening in this, huh?
The basis for a government shutdown. Let's have the conversation about how.
So far, I'm dead on for the first
healthcare more accessible.
6 minutes.
As the president showed, he's more than willing to act on behalf of the American people for this very reason. What you don't do is say, unless you do exactly what we want to do as congressional Democrats, we're taking a hostage.
Still going nice? Are they still moving really slow?
Turns out is critical, essential services that the American people need. Caroline talked about some of it. Let me talk about some more. Our troops are not getting paid starting today because of the Chuck Schumer wing of the Democratic Party. We have people who require food assistance, low-income Americans who require food assistance, who will not get it unless we reopen the government, thanks to Chuck Schumer and his wing of the Democratic Party. We have flood insurance as we start hurricane season in the southeastern part of our country. That flood insurance is going to disappear because of Chuck Schumer.
Yes, of course. Blame the Democrats.
And the far left of the Democratic Party. We need to reopen the government.
Yeah,
let's
comes
fix
up here.
America's problems.
We want to help the poor people.
But let's reopen the government before we have our negotiation about health care policy. That's what the American people demand, and that's certainly what the President of the United States wants. Let me make one final point. I think a lot of Americans are asking themselves, why did this happen? Why did the Democrats shut down the government despite, as Caroline said, voting on the exact same piece of legislation 6 months ago? And there are a lot of different spins that we can put on it, a lot of different answers that we could give, all of them true. One answer I already gave is that they want to give health care benefits to illegal aliens. That is true.
It's not true at all. No, it's not. Stop saying that.
Us cutting off health care benefits for illegal aliens. That's one of the things that they asked for. But
complete lie. Fabrication.
About the politics is that Chuck Schumer is terrified she's going to get a primary challenge from Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. The reason why the American people's government is shut down is because Chuck Schumer is listening to the far-left radicals in his own party because he's terrified of a primary challenge. So I'd invite Chuck Schumer to join the moderate Democrats and 52 Senate Republicans, do the right thing, open up the people's government, and then let's fix health care policy for the American people. Questions?
Mr. Vice President.
That's a lot. Matt Boyle.
Okay. Mr. Vice President, there's two key Democrat lies I would like to get your take on and see if you can address. The first is that you're seeing a number of top Democrat leaders, from Kamala Harris and Chuck Schumer to Hakeem Jeffries, claim that it is a Republican shutdown caused by Trump. The second
That's exactly
is that
what it is.
claiming that they don't want to give healthcare to
Who is
illegal
speaking?
aliens. Can you address both of those lies? from the
Who
Democrat
is
Party?
speaking
Yeah,
right
so
now?
the point that it's a Republican shutdown, look, it's obviously a Democratic shutdown. Just look at the vote totals in the House, look at the vote totals in the Senate, and look at the President of the United States'
But
own
look
action
at
and conduct
why.
throughout this crisis.
But look at
Nearly
why.
every single House Republican voted to open the government, Matt. Nearly every single Senate Republican voted to open the government last night. And even to their credit, a few moderate Democrats voted to open the government. That's not a Republican shutdown when nearly every single Senate Democrat votes to shut it down and every Republican votes.
There is a shutdown. I actually think the president would be blamed.
I'm hopeful, yes I am hopeful for today. Take this music and use it, let it take
Gavin Newsom posted this.
be hopeful, hopeful.
Gavin Newsom posted this. I reposted it. I don't know if anyone saw it, but
If there is a shutdown, I actually think the president would be blamed.
me too. Yeah, me too. I also think the president would be to be blamed there.
Voted to open it up. It's just obviously not true. Now, you can disagree about a number of things, but you can't disagree about the obvious fact that Republicans voted to open the government. The president stands ready to sign that opening of the government. We just need a few more Democrats to join us in that effort to open the government. Your final question about illegal alien.
Essentially,
benefits.
Donald's just gonna be like,
The
"We're gonna
text
reopen
is
it
very
anyway.
clear.
We're just gonna
I
do
even
it."
saw, I think it was George Stephanopoulos in an interview with Mike Johnson, did a fact check that was totally rooted in baseless claims. It was basically Democrat propaganda. If you look at the legislative text that they gave us, they tried to turn on two separate provisions that would give health care benefits to illegal aliens. Number one, if you're an American citizen, you've been to a hospital in the last few years, you probably noticed that wait times are especially large, and very often somebody who's there in the emergency room waiting is an illegal alien, very often a person who can't even speak English.
How the
Why
fuck
do
would
those
you know
people
that?
get health care benefits
Like,
at
does
hospitals
he just go
paid
to-
for by American citizens?
Good
The answer
God.
is they
These people, like legitimately though, and they just go to places and they're like, I bet everyone here is an immigrant. What the hell?
decision made by
That's
the
all they
Biden
do all day
administration,
long.
the Trump administration working with congressional Republicans undid. We turned off that money spigot to health care funding for illegal aliens. The Democrats, in their legislative text, want to turn it back on. That's one thing. The second thing, Matt, is we all know that there are various ways in which the Biden administration waved away illegal immigration status.
Seriously.
They gave parolees. They
Every
gave
time I go to the
asylum claims
hospital,
people who weren't
it's all these
claiming
illegal
asylum.
immigrants in front of me.
When they waved
What the
magic
fuck are you
wand of
talking about?
amnesty, giving millions of people
Sir, whoever's in front of me, are you a citizen? May I see your papers? All right, someone get this guy out of here. I want to go to the hospital first.
legal status, even though they were in the country illegally, they also gave those people access to health care benefits. So what the Democrats are engaging in is a slide to give us-
Yes,
no,
I
no,
did
no.
see the clip of Mike Johnson.
Those weren't illegal aliens who were getting health care benefits, even though everybody, excuse me, knows they were in the country illegally. It's a lie told by the Democrats that they're not trying to give health care benefits to illegal aliens. It's a lie that is obviously untrue if you just look at the text that they gave us. And all you have to do is understand that this is about who benefits. We think the American people's government ought to benefit American citizens. The Democrats are willing to shut it down to benefit illegal aliens. The contrast couldn't be more clear. Peter.
Thank you, Vice President Vance. The big holdup is, of course, that you guys say illegal immigrants are getting taxpayer-funded health care. Democrats say you're lying. That makes it feel like it could be a really long shutdown. Is this going to be a long shutdown?
I don't. It's so fucking disastrously stupid that we are stuck arguing just like something that we can blatantly read. All it takes to stop this entire argument is to read like 2 paragraphs. You just have to read 2 paragraphs and this entire thing is done. Even the thing they are citing, the specific thing that they're citing where they say that the Democrats are giving illegal aliens some sort of, that if they just read it,
You know,
That's
don't
all
know.
this
I
would
can't
ta-
predict
over,
what
done.
congressional Democrats are going to do, Peter, but I actually don't think it's going to be that long of a shutdown. This is a pure guess from the Vice President of the United States because I think you already saw some evidence that moderate Democrats are cracking a little bit. They understand.
It would take two.
the
They have
fundamental
one,
logic
and
of
it's
this.
playing
Look,
pong
for
back and
years,
forth.
Every single one of us, we can remember Barack Obama on the White House lawn. We can remember Chuck Schumer. We can remember Nancy Pelosi for years. In Chuck Schumer's case, for
Why would-
literally decades,
what?
we've heard them say you don't shut the government down over a policy disagreement. Okay, Republicans think this thing about health care, that thing about health care. Democrats think this thing about immigration, Republicans disagree. Whatever those disagreements are, you don't shut down the government over it. For the first time since the Democrats have been in politics, they're now saying that unless we get
He doesn't really
every
answer questions. He just
policy
decides to
item
like go off
that we
on rambles
demand,
about whatever the fuck
we're
he
gonna shut down the
wants to
people's
talk about.
government. They're trying to take a hostage, and we're not going to let them.
And the administration announced today that $18 billion bound for New York transportation projects is going to be frozen so it can't go to DEI programs there. But the timing of this, does announcing that today mean that you guys are going to squeeze Chuck Schumer's home state until he blinks?
Look, I haven't talked to Russ about this morning, but look, I'm sure that Russ is heartbroken about the fact that he is unable to give certain things to certain constituencies. We want to do everything that we can to help the American
Oh, you think
people,
Russell
but when
Lott
the Democrats
cares?
shut down the government, we have to actually
Really?
do a little triage to make sure the most critical and most essential services are provided. The government does a lot of things. Of course, Republicans think that the federal
Oh,
government.
I have an
probably does
idea.
too
I have an
much.
idea. You guys just moved like a what was it? Almost like $1 trillion over for some ICE bullshit. Well, why don't we just take the money that you guys move for that, and we take it and we put it
But
somewhere
there are a
else?
lot of critical things the
How about we
federal
do that?
government does that
about we
absolutely
stop
all
using
of us
that?
would agree need to do. Our troops need to get paid. Our air traffic controllers need to make sure that people are flying safely and on time. We need low-income people to be able to access the food services that are provided by the federal government. There are critical things that need to be saved. We're going to do everything that we can over the coming weeks, if the shutdown lasts that long, to ensure that people get the essential services that they need,
But the
despite the fact that
ballroom.
Chuck Schumer has shut down the federal government. It's not going to
Oh
be
my god! I
perfect.
honestly I hadn't even thought about that fact recently. I hadn't thought about the fact that like actively we're in a government shutdown and Donald Trump will be continuing work on the fucking ballroom. Like they're gonna be making this ballroom while our government is actively shut down.
Because we are in a government shutdown, we are going to have to lay some people off if the shutdown continues. We don't like that. We don't necessarily want to do it, but we're going to do what we have to keep the American people's essential services continuing to run.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President, and thank you for being here. Yesterday, President Trump said, as a result of the shutdown, we'll be laying off a lot of people that are going to be very affected, and the Democrats, they are going to be Democrats. Has the administration asked agencies to target
gonna lay
federal
off
workers
Democrats.
who they believe to be Democrats in these reductions?
Of course not.
forces?
Donald Trump is just
We're
joking.
not targeting federal
Donald
agencies
Trump is
based
just
on
joking.
politics. We're targeting the
He's just
people's
joking.
government so that as much as possible of the essential services can continue to function. That is the question the president has asked the entire government is fundamentally, okay, we're in a shutdown. That causes some problems. The troops aren't getting paid. There's nothing that we can do about that while the government is shut down. But there are essential services that we want to make sure as much as possible they still continue to function. That is the principle that's driving us forward during this shutdown. It's going to continue to be the principle that drives us forward. But let's be honest. If this thing drags on for another few days or, God forbid, another few weeks, we are going to have to lay people off. We're going to have to save money in some places so the essential services don't get turned off in other places. That is the reality of the government shutdown that Chuck Schumer and the Democrats have foisted upon the administration.
So what did
Phil.
he mean by they're going to be Democrats? He said they're going to be Democrats.
You've laid out a.
Yeah, you didn't answer the fucking question, JD
problems
Vance.
that come with a Democratic shutdown, and yet in the Oval Office yesterday, the president said that a lot of good could come from a shutdown. So square that circle. Which is it, a Democratic-caused crisis or a Republican opportunity for reform?
Well, I think all the president is saying, Phil, is that he wants to make sure the American people's government functions as well as it can, despite the fact that we're in a shutdown. We're going to have to make things work. And that means that we're going to have to triage some certain things. That means certain people are going to
Keeps
have
just
to
saying
get laid off.
triage things.
And we're going to try to make sure that the American people suffer as little as possible from this shutdown.
Yeah, but he
That's
doesn't
what
give
the
a shit about
president is
these
saying,
treats.
Is that, yes,
He
this is
doesn't-
a bad thing.
he doesn't care about 'em.
Obviously, the president is trying to reopen the government, but we're going to make things work as well as we possibly can, given the constraints that we have.
And then on those policy differences for the discussion and the negotiations to come later, during the Biden administration, Democrats twice voted to expand these Affordable Care Act tax credits, but those were supposed to be temporary and they were slated to expire at the end of the year. As you sort of crack the door open to negotiation at a later date, would the party that ran on defunding Obamacare really negotiate about potentially expanding Obamacare?
Well, Phil, what we've said to the Democrats is that we're willing to have a conversation about how to ensure that Americans continue to have access to health care. And frankly, they should have access to better health care at a lower cost. We inherited a mess of a health care system from the Biden administration. It's why...
Oh, they should have better health care at a lower cost? But instead, you're giving people less health care and worse health care or no health care at a higher cost? What the fuck are you talking about? People's premiums are going to be going up by like 70%.
The president has worked so hard on the most favored nation status for prescription drugs. It's why we care so much about lowering the cost of prescriptions and why we're doing everything else. We're willing to have that conversation, but I think it's important to bracket the healthcare policy conversation because it's separate from the government shutdown. We think that we can open the government and then have the conversation about what best healthcare policy to fit the needs of the American people. That's all we're trying to do. That's
We need to
all
build
we're
a really
trying to
big
accomplish. We've gotta
trebuchet over
reopen
that.
the government first.
A
Now,
really,
Phil,
really
I don't
big
know how you do
trebuchet.
this, how you actually choose people, because I don't know 90% of the names in here. Is it just who's the best dressed? Okay, I really like your shirt. Go ahead.
What is wrong with this man? How the fuck did this guy become the vice president? Oh, how do we do these? How do you do these things? It's just about how you dress. Ha 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 ha. Is this some comedy, like the least funny comedy show ever? It's like an open mic night.
Thank you, Mr. Vice
Good
President.
God.
You are president.
Get
of
off the
Senate.
stage.
Can you talk about what you're doing, what the administration is doing to try to get other Senate Democrats to vote to open the government?
Yeah, we're talking to a number of our colleagues, Democratic and Republican in the Senate. I talked to a number of them last night. The president, of course, is talking to them as well. I think there really are two categories of demands that I've seen privately from congressional Democrats. I think on the one hand, those who are negotiating in good faith are saying, look, we just want to make sure that we're able to have a conversation with the administration about some of the critical needs that we see that need to get fixed over the next few months. We recognize it's kind of absurd, and a lot of them will admit in private that it's kind of absurd to shut down the people's government over these disagreements, but just agree to negotiate with us in good faith on these issues, and of course we're having that conversation with them. Then there's another category, people who say, give us everything we want or we're going to keep the government shut down. We just write those people off because they're not negotiating in good faith. And frankly, we don't need them. We've already got
Y'all are just
3 more
lying
Democrats last
and
night than I thought we would
saying.
get. And I think it's because they recognize the illogic of the position of taking the
Got 3
entire
more
American
Democrats than
economy
they thought they'd get,
hostage
huh?
because they don't get their policy priorities. So 3 moderate Democrats joined 52 Republicans last night. We need 5 more in order to reopen the government, and that's really where we're going to focus, is how to get those 5 additional Democrats.
Thanks, Mr. Vice President. First 2 questions. Are there plans
Cheers, Crafty.
to meet Democratic leaders again in the coming days, or are you planning on plucking off senators one by one?
So that's the whole question?
No, I got a second question.
Okay, go ahead and ask the second question.
So the president's been posting some images of Leader
not gonna
Jeffries and Senator Schumer
I saw.
recently. You've said that
You
you're
mean the
interested
video?
in good faith negotiations with these leaders, but what message does that send? Is it helpful to post pictures of Leader Jeffries in a sombrero if you're trying to have good faith talks with him?
Oh, I think it's funny. The president's joking, and we're having a good time. You can negotiate in good faith while also poking a little bit of fun.
The president is joking. Yeah, I'm not going to play the video again. We've all seen it now. And if you haven't, there is that on my TikTok of me reacting to it the first time. But yeah, really not just joking there.
At some of the absurdities of the Democrats' positions, and even, poking some fun at the absurdity of the Democrats themselves. I mean, I'll tell Hakeem Jeffries right now, I make this solemn promise to you that if you help us reopen the government, the sombrero memes will stop. And I've talked to the President of the United States about that. Now, to your first question.
Oh, hey, we'll stop with the racist memes if you let us continue absolutely butt-fucking America's healthcare. We'll stop with the racist memes if you let us do whatever the fuck we want.
Question, are we negotiating one-on-one?
What?
Are we negotiating in groups? Look, I will go to the U.S. Capitol right now and meet with Chuck Schumer or any Senate Democrat if it helps us reopen the government. Most of the conversations, in my experience at least, have been one-off. We're also, of course, relying on some of our Senate Republican colleagues who have good relationships across the aisle. We're going to do whatever we have to do is the answer. And I think it's tough to predict what shape this negotiation is going to take over the next few months. But I feel good about the fact that Democrats already realize privately the fundamental irrationality of their position. I hope that they're going to publicly acknowledge it and reopen the government. The guy in the back, yeah.
Mr. Vice President, you responded to a post on X of Chuck Schumer on the House floor back in 1996, railing against illegal immigrants receiving taxpayer-funded benefits. You said Chuck Schumer once recognized that it was disastrous to give illegal aliens rewards for breaking the law. Now he wants to shut down the government unless we reward illegal aliens for breaking the law. Why has Chuck Schumer changed his stance?
Oh.
You know, that's a good question. Actually, it's a very tough question. Asking me to get...
Why are we asking for what? What the hell?
The head of Chuck Schumer is not a place I particularly want to be. But
Could you tell us
my
why
basic
Chuck
read on
Schumer
it is that the
stinks
entire
says
Democratic
different
Party,
words now,
the
even though you're
political
lying
leadership,
about
not
the
every
illegal
Democrat nationwide, but the
immigrants
political
getting
leadership
healthcare
of their
thing?
party has got it into their heads that the only way to be compassionate is to be compassionate to illegal aliens rather than American citizens. If you go back to what Bill Clinton was saying, even Barack Obama in some cases, what he was saying about illegal immigration 10, 15, 20 years ago, you would put them on the MAGA right based purely on their rhetoric around illegal immigration. So I don't know why they've gone so far to the left. I think it's bad for the country. I think it's bad for them politically. But our principle, all I can do is speak for the president that I serve and the country, the administration that I serve right now. We believe that the American people's government exists for the American people. That means the people who have the legal right to be here, and that's why we're fighting to reopen the government. And unfortunately, the Democrats are fighting to shut it down for the benefit of illegal aliens. And I'll take a couple more, and then I'll let Caroline. I'll go back to my day job, so Caroline can go back to hers. All right. Yes.
Jesus Christ.
Just going back to the
hell is your day job, JD? Going on vacation?
Hakeem Jeffries says that these memes were racist. What's your response to that? And just if I may briefly go off topic, Secretary Hegseth yesterday made an edict about no more beardos in the military. Just wondered what.
Sorry, what did he say?
No more beardos.
Beards.
Sorry, it's my accent. Just wondered your response to that.
I didn't see that particular comment. I thought Pete gave a hell of a speech.
Yeah, what do you mean you didn't see him say, no more beardos? I had to pause and take a moment after that dumb piece of shit said, no more beardos in the military.
A speech that really is just oriented around returning the American military to the very high standards that it has had for virtually its entire history until Joe Biden came along and decided to lower standards.
Joe
I think
Biden.
It was bad for our military, and it was bad for our troops. When I was a young United States Marine, I did not have a beard. I am now the vice president, so I get to do what I want to do.
Are you saying that being the vice president of the United States of America has less standards than just being a soldier?
But I think Pete's trying to re-implement high standards, and that's a
I
very
do
good
whatever
thing.
the
On
fuck
the
I
Sobrero
want.
thing, I mean,
I do
Hakeem
whatever the fuck
Jeffries
I
said
want.
it was racist, and I know that he said that, and I honestly don't even know what that means. Like, is he a Mexican American that is offended by having a sombrero meme? I mean, I saw one of the major TV stations put the meme up and then say, this is AI generated. And he had like the curly animated mustache too. It's like, do you really not realize the American people recognize that he did not actually come to the White House wearing a sombrero and a black curly animation mustache? Like, give the country a little bit of credit.
I want to eat myself off a bridge. I want to eat myself off, maybe up into a ceiling fan or something. How fast do you think I could make a ceiling fan go?
We're all trying to do a very important
What
job.
the fuck is this?
The President of the United States likes to have a little bit of fun when he's doing it, and I think that's okay. I'll take one more question.
Mr. Vice President, in every previous shutdown, workers have been furloughed, not laid off. So why does the president want to fire some workers and not just furlough them? Why?
It's because he wants to get rid of the Democrats.
First of all, we haven't made any final decisions about what we're going to do with certain workers.
That's what he said.
We're saying is that we might have to take extraordinary steps, especially the longer this goes on. We're going to have to take extraordinary measures to ensure the people's government operates, again, not perfectly, because it's not going to operate perfectly in the midst of a shutdown, but operate as well as it possibly can. And I think that the Democrats, if they're so worried about the effect this is having on the American people, and they should be, what they should do is reopen the government, not complain about how we respond to the fact that Chuck Schumer and the Democrats have shut down the government in the first place. Thank you all. Caroline.
And he's like, and I'm done.
Thank you. See you guys.
All right, guys. Well, let's let the fun continue. The Vice President's a very busy man, and I'm happy to take some more questions.
Let the
I know
fun
there's more news to-
where is the fun in the room with us?
Aside from the shutdown, we can focus on the shutdown if you want, but let's go ahead. Kate, why don't you start?
The president talked about doing things that he said were irreversible during the shutdown, cutting vast numbers of people, he said, and cutting programs. Can you specify what exactly he was referring to, what's on the table, and what's going to be cut?
Look, I think the Vice President just referred to this in some of the answers that he gave regarding the layoffs. There are unfortunate consequences to a government shutdown, and the federal government is not receiving any cash at the moment, and so the Office of Management and Budget has been tasked with...
Y'all have been saying for how long about this tariff shelf? You're like, we got all this money on the tariff shelf. We have so much money. You have any idea how much money we've gotten because of this tariff shelf? Huh? Now all
looking
of a sudden
over
you're
the
like,
receipts
we don't
and looking
know.
over the budget of the
Where did all the
entire
money
federal
go?
bureaucracy, and as
Where
the
is
Vice
it?
President said,
We don't
determining
know what to
what
do.
needs to continue to go out the door and what can we continue to keep running, and what unfortunately is going to have to come to an end. So those decisions are being made, and unfortunately layoffs are very likely, as the Vice President just said, going to be a part of that.
And has the White House had any direct response from Hamas, from the peace proposal that was laid out? The president said he would give 3 or 4 days, but is there a hard deadline now, or what are the next steps here?
I will reiterate what the President of the United States said, 3 or 4 days, and I can tell you that there are some very sensitive discussions that are taking place, but I certainly don't want to get ahead of any announcement at this podium. I'm going to let Special Envoy Witkoff and the President of the United States handle that.
Thank you, Caroline. 2 questions. First of all, following up on that, the president said yesterday, I believe, within 3 or 4 days he wanted to hear an answer from Hamas. Is he still sticking by that timeline?
Yes, as I just confirmed.
And then second question is a comment that's gotten a lot of global attention. Senator Dick Durbin, he was set to receive a Lifetime Achievement Award from the Catholic Church. He's since declined accepting it because there has been some controversy. Pope Leo commented on this, and he said that someone who says I'm against abortion, but I'm in agreement with the inhumane treatment of immigrants in the United States, I don't know if that's pro-life. You've been very open about your Catholic faith. How do you respond to that?
I would reject there is inhumane treatment of illegal immigrants in the United States under this administration.
She's like, fuck the Pope. Catholic? What the hell's a Catholic? Ain't none of that shit here. Not no more. Ain't nope. Nope.
There was, however, significant inhumane
This is
treatment
fucking
of illegal
crazy.
immigrants in the previous administration as they were being trafficked and raped and beaten and in many cases killed over our United States southern border. You also look at the inhumane treatment at the hands of some of these illegal immigrants that took place under the previous administration as well. Laken Riley comes to mind, a beautiful American citizen who was killed at the hands of an illegal immigrant. So this administration is trying to enforce our nation's laws in the most humane way
Man,
possible.
if God is real and or anything is real up there in any capacity, these people are really going to try and Karen their way into heaven. They're going to be up at these pearly gates like, no, you don't understand. No, God, what you're not understanding. Well, I didn't give a shit about them because I didn't need to.
Possible.
No,
and we're
you don't.
upholding the law, and we're doing
God,
that on
hold on a second, God.
behalf of the people of our country who live here. John.
Thanks a lot, Caroline. What is the level of concern that the administration has regarding a protracted government shutdown in terms of its impact on the U.S. economy and also its impact on small businesses as well?
Well, look, this government shutdown is no doubt going to impact everyday Americans, and it is the fault of the Democrats that we are in this position.
This is
And
not
I
the
know
fault
I
of the
relayed
Democrats.
Some, programs
She looks
that will be
40.
impacted
I don't
by
really
Vice
know what she looks like
President
without
as
the
well, but I
makeup,
just
though,
want
to be
make
fair.
sure the American public
No
understand
idea.
what the Democrats
Also,
have
she's
done
been
to
like
our
aging in
government
front of
and
our
country.
eyes, you know, working for the
1.3
Donald Trump
million
admin.
active duty
Takes
troops
pieces of
will
your
work
soul
now
every time you
without
speak.
pay. Critical food assistance for low-income women, infants, and children will now lapse. No new mothers or children are allowed to join this critical program because of the Democrats' decision to shut down the government. Telehealth services for seniors and in-home treatment options for Medicare patients will now come to an end. Nearly 50,000 members of the United States Coast Guard are going to have to work unpaid. Over 13,000 air traffic controllers will work without pay, as
all
well
of
as
Michael Jackson to make
TSA agents will
Caroline
very
Levitt's
likely
nose.
create flight disruptions, and pay will now stop for over 150,000 federal law enforcement officers. These are not just numbers and statistics. These are real Americans who have families at home. And I saw some Democrat members today saying they're still going to
Hey,
accept
and
their paychecks
Caroline.
because they have 3 kids at home and they
CMI,
have
what's
mouths
up?
to feed. Well, so do these federal workers who those same Democrats just voted to shut down the government and turn off their pay. And we believe that's very unfair, and it's why the administration wants to see the government reopened.
GDP growth fell by about 0.5 percentage point during the last government shutdown during the president's first term. Are you expecting a similar type of impact on GDP growth related to this potential protracted government shutdown?
Well, look, I think it's dependent upon how long this shutdown continues. So it's dependent on how long it takes Democrats to muster up the coverage, 5 of them, to vote in the best interest of our country, our citizens, and our economy. Eamon.
Thank you, Caroline. Yesterday, your administration took a 5% stake in Lithium Americas and a stake in the mine that they're working on, and you've taken stakes in other companies
wow,
and
yeah,
revenue
that's
streams from other
that's
companies.
like a crazy
Can you
difference in how
articulate
she
the broader
looks.
principle here? When does the
She wears
administration
so much
see it as
makeup.
appropriate to demand equity stakes or revenue streams from American companies? And what other companies are you going to be demanding those from?
Well, look, this is a creative solution by the President of the United States to tackle our nation's crippling debt crisis. As I said earlier, we are $37 trillion
just a little creative
trillion
solution,
with a
of
T,
course.
in debt. And not only is the president effectively utilizing
Increasing
tariffs
the
to
debt
bring in
significantly.
massive amounts of revenue, and there's billions of dollars coming in every month. I know you know that, even because you cover it on.
But I thought we
CNBC
didn't have
quite
money.
well.
Stop
So the
contradicting
president is
yourself, damn it.
focused on how can the United States government
Can we
make
stop
more money?
contradicting
How
ourselves?
can we make our country wealthy and rich again? And cutting some of these unique creative deals with companies around the world and here at home is just one way the president is seeking to do that. And I know the Department of Energy just announced this new deal. It's another great deal for the American people and our government. Reagan.
And Elisa Cook,
Sure, go ahead.
Elisa Cook,
Yeah.
the Supreme Court said today that she's going to be allowed to stay at the Federal Reserve Board until oral arguments in January. Does the president have any personal reaction to that? This has been something he's been very intent on.
Look, we have respect for the Supreme Court, but they're going to hear the actual case and make a determination on the legal argument in January. And we look forward to that because we maintain that she was fired well within the president's legal authority to do so. She was removed from the board, and we look forward to that case being fully played out at the Supreme Court. Reagan.
I have one for you on EJ Antoni and one on the shutdown.
Sure.
CNN reported that Collins and Murkowski declined to meet with EJ Antoni, raising concerns that his nomination was in trouble. I'm wondering what message Collins and Murkowski are sending to the White House by not meeting with one of the president's nominees.
Well, look, EJ Antoni remains a great ally of the president and our team. It became clear, unfortunately, that he was not going to have the votes, and so we will be announcing a replacement nominee very soon.
And on the shutdown, I'm just
What's the agenda nowadays in America? You know, fascism.
federal workplace, and if there's a specific agency that will experience the most cuts or be focused.
Unfortunately, because the Democrats shut down the government, the president has directed his cabinet, and the Office of Management and Budget is working with agencies across the board to identify where cuts can be made, and we believe that layoffs are imminent. They are,
Russell Bach
unfortunately,
comes in.
a consequence of this government
Head
shutdown.
of OBM.
Ed.
Wrote the
So you talk about the layoffs being
Project
imminent.
2025
Is there a
bullshit.
percentage then of reduction that the White House is looking for of workforce?
I don't have a specific percentage for you.
What about China, if I could? So China.
They're like,
has
let
not
me
made
check
one
how
sweeping purchase this
many
year
Democrats
in the
there
United
are.
States. I talked to a farmer yesterday who has about 1,000 acres in Iowa and says this is just killing her. Now the president has been talking to President Xi. Could China not buying agriculture affect a possible meeting with the president? Would he not meet with Xi because China has refused to buy soybeans from the U.S.?
Look, I don't want to speak for the president and make a determination on that from this podium, but what I can tell you is that supporting America's farmers and doing what's best for them is at the top of the president's priority list, and it's at the top of the list for this administration right now. There have been several very high-level meetings on this very topic. We want to help our farmers, and we're exploring the best ways to do that, and I would anticipate there will be more to come on that very soon.
Send a message to the Chinese president.
Look, I just shared that message. The president wants what's best for Americans,
That's the message?
America's farmers. Sean.
That's wow.
Hi.
Two things to ask you about.
Sure.
First thing, I want to ask about this video that the president posted the other day. It was
Yep.
An AI deepfake of himself talking about something
Med
called
beds.
beds. What was he trying to communicate to the public there, and why?
Yeah,
did he
that'd be that Donald Trump has fucking dementia.
And posted it, and then took it down. And he has the right to do that. It's his social media. He's incredibly transparent, as you all know. You
Yeah, we can see the dementia right through him.
hear from him directly on social
We
media.
can see
He
it.
likes to share memes. He likes to share videos. He likes to repost things that he sees other people post on social media as well. And I think it's quite refreshing that we have a president who is so open and honest directly himself. Many a times on Truth, you are hearing directly from the President of the United States.
And second thing, how did
Many
the
of
White
the
House decide
times.
that it is appropriate for Jared Kushner
Cheers.
to be working on matters that involve Qatar, the UAE, and Saudi Arabia, 3 countries that combined have given him more than $2.5 billion for his investment firm?
I think it's frankly despicable that you're trying to suggest that it's inappropriate for Jared Kushner, who
She's
is widely
pissed.
respected around the world
Lucifer's
and
cheers.
has great trust and relationships with these critical partners in these countries, to strike a 20-point comprehensive detailed peace plan that no other administration would ever be able to achieve. And so Jared is donating his energy and his time to our
Moonifuls,
government,
Stoner
to the
Chick, cheers.
President of the United States, to secure world peace, and that is a very noble thing. And this is a peace plan that has not just been accepted by Israel, but it has been applauded by Muslim and Arab countries around the world. It has been applauded by European leaders around the world. Virtually everyone in the world is supportive of this plan that Jared Kushner offered his time to help put together alongside our special envoy Witkoff, the Vice President, the President of the United States, Secretary Rubio, and the President's entire national security team. We are very proud of
Trademark
that plan,
Roger.
and we
Cheers.
hope Hamas will accept it because it will lead to a more peaceful and prosperous Middle East. Kristen.
2 questions. One, we're talking a lot about these layoffs and hypotheticals, but Speaker Johnson earlier today said that there is a proposal from the White House.
Caroline
that
Levitt next to Michael
Republicans are
Jackson. Oh my
expected
God.
to hear this afternoon about these mass layoffs. Can you tell us what is in that proposal? What agencies, what programs, what jobs?
What he's referring to is a proposal that our Office of Management and Budget Director, Russ Vought, is going to be proposing to the House Republican Conference. He's going to kind of walk
Why people
them
still vote to
through
Republicans?
what this
Massive amounts of propaganda, like this, like the way we teach our history of the United States creates narcissism. We're basically like manufacturing these little narcissistic sociopaths, especially like back in the day, who just grow up to be awful people in a lot of cases, and then they vote either out of stupidity or hatred.
Discuss it with their constituents back home in their respective districts. So I don't want to get ahead of the Office of Management and Budget, but I'm sure you'll be hearing more about that very soon. Look, we have to put a plan in place. It would be irresponsible of us not to take a look at each and every agency and get an understanding of what we're going to have to do moving forward to do the best we can in the midst of this government shutdown. Jasmine. Thanks, Caroline.
Just on that point, though, Russ Vought told House members, according to our notice reporting, that RIFs would happen in 2 days. Already, we know that some have been sitting out from the U.S. Patent Office. So I wonder, one, this administration continues to say that they don't want to lay people off, but obviously there is a plan to lay people off. So what is your message to those people who are getting laid off? And then if the government reopens, will those risks reverse? Are they not permanent if the government opens, specifically if it reopens pretty quickly?
Well, sometimes you have to do things you don't want to do, and it's because the Democrats have put us into this position. If the Democrats did not vote to shut down the government, we would not be standing up here talking about layoffs today. We'd be talking about all the other news stories going on in the world in our country. We'd be talking about all of the great things that this administration is doing to uplift Americans across the country. But unfortunately, The Vice President of the United States and I have to come out here today to talk about a government shutdown that the Democrats put us in this position. And the second question,
Democrats didn't put it. Stop saying it over and over again.
The timing of these potential layoffs
So
to
sad.
federal workers. You said imminent. The vice president seemed to say in a couple of days. It looks like Russ Vought maybe said in 2 days. When would
We don't really have a time
layoffs
frame. I refer to the president.
2 days, imminent, very soon. You will expect more announcements right now.
Is it just unclear?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
No, it's not unclear.
6, 7, 8, 9,
Very
10,
synonymous
11.
with one another. These rifts are unfortunately going to happen very soon.
It'll definitely
Dasha. Dasha, go ahead.
We've been talking about the Affordable Care Act, enhanced premium tax credits, and sort of the politics of it all, right? But this is a very real, tangible impact that American people will feel. The Kaiser Family Foundation says that with the ACA enhanced premium tax credits, without them, premiums will go up 114% on average. 19 million of the 24 million people who rely on the coverage are in states that President Trump won. Is he concerned what will happen to those families if this
No,
tax
he
credit
doesn't care.
expires? And aside from the shutdown, is there a plan to keep those premiums down?
Look, as the vice
Well, the
president
Democrats
just said,
are really
we
gonna be at
more
fault
than
here.
happy to have this conversation. The president and the vice president and this team are more than happy to have that conversation with Republicans and Democrats on Capitol Hill. But it cannot
Several
happen right
Democratic,
now. Right now,
congresspeople
we
have been
need to
posting- I
reopen
saw
the
some of
United
those,
States
yeah.
federal government because people are
Because
going
none of the
without
Republicans
pay.
showed up
you
to,
have thousands
that
of
day.
federal workers who have to show up to work and not get paid, and that's an unfortunate situation the Democrats have put us in. Then we can discuss this very important issue of healthcare that the president absolutely wants to fix. As I mentioned yesterday, he took. But those premiums do not expire until the end of the year. It's October 1st right now. And so we have a few months to have that conversation. And it's irresponsible of the Democrat Party to try to convince the American people that that conversation has to happen right now. No, what needs to happen right now is the
No, what we
reopening
want
of
is
the
our
United
way. No, what we want is our way. We want whatever we want, and if we don't get it, we're going to be upset. If we don't get what we want, we're going to be really sad, and we're going to scream.
federal government. And
You're
then
going to
this
hear us kick and
administration
scream, and we're going to
will
blame the
have to
Democrats.
work with Democrats in good faith to come to a policy determination. But one red line
I still
want
wanna
to
see Johnson's Grindr profile.
This administration has already made clear. This
Yeah, I really want that to get leaked. I need to like, I feel like it's definitely, what do we think? Do we think completely faceless profile and it says DL? Or do you think it's just like chat, like neck and like chest? I'm thinking it's like neck to like right down here maybe, and it's just that.
This administration is
Yeah.
never going to support taxpayer-funded benefits going to illegal aliens, and we think it's despicable that that was one of the first proposals that Democrats put in their funding
Neck and
proposal,
chest him.
and their CR. The Republican CR was a clean CR that would keep the government open. Democrats have voted for it 13 times in the past. The Democrats put this poison pill in there. This
Oh my god. Imagine it's just him with a GIMP mask on. Imagine it's just like Mike Johnson with a GIMP mask. Secondary, imagine if his Grindr account got hacked and you could also see inside of his like private albums. Imagine if that got leaked.
partisan
Woo!
pill. Why? Because they are
He'd be
beholden
fucked.
to the far left radicals in their party, and you already see 3 moderate Democrats having the courage to say no. We need to keep the government open, and then we can have these conversations about health care. Mary.
Caroline, I just want to circle back to something the Vice President said about Ocasio-Cortez, and actually this President didn't come up sooner. So if Schumer is catering to the demands of Ocasio-Cortez, can you share whether the White House views this as
Oh my god, yeah, I bet he does have like a he probably took like a photo on his phone of like an old actually like printed out photograph of himself from like 10 years ago.
cracks in Schumer's leadership, and would the Vice President be open to meeting with someone like her if she is assuming this role in the Democratic Party?
I'll let the Vice President speak on that himself. I think that certainly Senator Schumer was not expecting 3 moderates to break with him last night. In fact, last night you heard Senator Schumer say he can't guarantee that he will be able to hold his caucus together. And so again, we encourage Democrats to have the courage to do the right thing, do what you have done 13 times previously, and vote for this clean continuing
15
resolution
times
to keep
previously.
the
The government shut down, like, what was it? I think like 4 times in the past, was it like 40 years, 30, 40 years? And 3 of those are under Donald Trump. 3.
government funded. As for what the Trump administration and President Trump is going to do, we'll continue to
Get my mask Mike Johnson wasn't something I wanted a mental image of. Yeah, now I'm just thinking of shirtless gimp mask Mike Johnson, and it's not what my brain needs today. It is not what my brain needs. God, look at that face she's given. Look at her lips. How does she even get her lips to do that? How does she even manage? Oh boy. All right. Let's check out this this
So
Good
you were saying you
Liars
did
video.
lose your job as a result of the vaccines.
Good Liars talking vaccines. So this might be a compilation of like some of their things from before, but
a lot of people
we'll
would
see.
ask me, are you vaccinated?
And it was at a big company or no?
Small company, self-employed, just myself. And,
Okay, so
and my
you
kids, yeah.
you kind of had to let yourself go. You fired yourself.
I got fired from my self-employed company.
Do you agree with me that the president deserves a Nobel Prize for Operation Warp Speed?
Yeah, absolutely, Senator. That
So
was
let
phenomenal.
me ask you, but you just told Senator Bennett that the COVID vaccine killed more people than COVID.
Everyone who has taken the vaccine will be dead within 5 to 15 years guaranteed.
So why did Donald Trump
That's a
authorize
broad
Operation Warp
5 to
Speed then
15.
to create the vaccine?
I think a lot more
I
people
did-
would have died, but that's why I'm here.
The people
What?
who are independent thinkers and want to do their own research are not taking the vaccine, but we're still being damaged. You know, I've got arthritis from it, but that's another.
You got arthritis from other people getting the vaccine?
Well, I think they sprayed us with vaccine components in January 6th, so I am a January 6th person.
I think they sprayed us with vaccine components on January 6th. I was at January 6th, as you know. They got me when I was there. They hit me with the vaccine powder. Now I have arthritis.
Made this
What a
decision
long
to try to
line
lift
of
vaccine
reasoning for that.
mandates for Florida, which include
Okay.
obviously public schools. Did your department do any data analysis? Did you do any data projection?
Absolutely. So absolutely not.
Absolutely not. We've done no data. Blech.
When it came out, it was Corona, right? Corona. Corona is 6 letters.
Oh, God.
When you use gematria and you say A is 1, B is 2, C is 3, and you put Corona lined out at 6-6. So that's 666. But we found.
Hold on a second. Uh-oh. Wow. Hold on. Hold on.
Found that out. So they're
Wait.
saying the white wing.
How would it be 6-6? See, they're different letters. They'd have to be 2 of the same letters in a row. C, A, B, C. That's 3. O? What the fuck is O? How many in is O? How many letters in is O? What are we talking about? What the fuck is this lady thinking? A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O. 15! 3 and then a 15. R, that's even farther. Oh my God.
Crazies found it out, so they changed it to COVID-19, which is C. What is this? C, right?
To see, huh?
Ovid. Look it up. Ovid means sheep.
Ovid! Look it up! Ovid means sheep. Mic drop.
19, military code for surrender. C, sheep.
These people are literally fucking insane. How? No way. How do these... This is like... we've achieved at this point a basically like Rube Goldberg-esque level of thinking. We have to go on like the longest, most strenuous, makes absolutely zero sense pathway to get to any conclusion.
Surrender.
Surrender.
Wow, that is actually the first I've heard of that.
Yeah, me too. First
I
time.
think they sprayed us with vaccine components.
Oh, God, it's this guy
Since
again.
January 7th, I was all inflamed and I couldn't use my fingers.
There's also
I tell you, I was all inflamed on the. I tell you, after I did that insurrection on the Capitol, I was all inflamed the next day. That means, you know what that means. They was spraying me with vaccine components.
really cold. Is it possible that that's why you're?
I think the really cold was the frozen spike proteins that they were releasing in the vaccine.
It was cold. The weather was cold because of the vaccine?
Yes, I think it was.
Yes. Yes. The weather. No, you don't understand. The weather was cold out there because of the vaccine.
It was literally drone delivered vaccine components.
Drone
and that's what
drone delivered.
Whoa.
What message would you have to women who are considering having an abortion?
When a woman becomes pregnant, there's two bodies there. It's not one, and it's not my body, my choice. It's care for the child. There's adoption.
A man of many words,
There's
I
other
see.
routes to go.
Wow.
What do you say?
What
to
an
people out there
explanation.
That say that they don't want to get the COVID vaccine.
If the my body, my choice works for abortion, why doesn't the same work for the vaccine?
Wait, but your argument was that you wanted to take a... Okay. Okay.
If it's my body, it should be my choice of whether or not I want to vaccinate.
Roe v. Wade overturned. How do you feel about that?
Just like the vaccine they tried to mandate on me. If it's my body, my choice for them, it should be for me too.
Oh,
You're
look at
saying
that
it
hat.
is your bo-
Wow. Well, isn't that hat cool? Where do you think she got it? You think I could get one of these still? You think the hat's still available?
Body, your choice.
People should have the choice.
You're saying for the vaccine, it is your body, your choice.
Yes. Well, I'm saying both ways. If they want to cry, oh, just get the vaccine, your body, it doesn't matter, but now it's on the shoes on the other.
But now that abortion is illegal in certain states across the country, would you be okay with a vaccine mandate?
No.
Did you get vaccinated?
No, I did not.
Okay, so you did not comply with the mandate.
No.
Okay, but you do feel that if a woman is pregnant, that she should go along with the mandate in that state to have the baby.
Yes.
Okay.
Hypocritical, probably, but.
The Good Liars here. We talk to a lot of people who think the news is fake.
Fake news.
The whole thing?
Think they
Oh, no,
alone
that's the midway.
show up to a Ground app, same ability and
Ground
the
news.
postcard
Ground news
read
is
and
great.
write is
I also have a code for Ground News that I think I need to update because they sent me an email saying that I need to update my thing.
No, they quit the placebos. I think that's over.
I still don't think anyone ever signed up for Ground News with my link. It's way too much money to sign up for Ground News. I'm glad I got it for free.
Early on, they were trying to keep a control group like you're supposed to do, but they gave up when Pfizer gave up their 10,000 placebo people. That's when they said, "Okay, hell with this. It's too obvious what we're doing."
We have been infiltrated with Marxist Chinese communist propaganda, but now that we have
Can I see the hat for a second? So this says fuck Biden. That's awesome. And it's made in what's PRC?
Not real sure.
key
It
on
ain't China though, so I'm
I was asking. Yeah, there you are. You're asking. Remember what your question? Why did anyone vote for Donald Trump? You remember that question? This is why. Because people like this exist.
feeling like that's a victory.
Yeah, PRC couldn't be People's Republic of China.
We need to
It
start
couldn't
buying
be.
shit in America.
You want to buy American shit?
Yep, America, made in America.
Can I
cost more.
can I ask you where the hat's made?
Oh, it's probably made in China. I don't know. I bought this 4 years
Yeah,
ago.
it's probably
Where is it
China.
made?
I probably think it's made in China.
China.
Okay.
Yeah, it's definitely China.
This is bioterrorism.
You're saying this is like a bioterrorist thing with crop dusters.
Did not see the crop dusters before the pandemic started.
They think crop dusting started during the pandemic?
I notice you have a
We've
Harry
only been.
Potter shirt on.
Yes, sir, I do.
Do you like Harry Potter? Do you like fantasy?
I'm a Slytherin.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I tell you, I'm a Slytherin. Yeah, I'm a Slytherin. I don't think I've ever heard that from a Donald Trump supporter. I tell you, yep, I'm a Slytherin.
My truck right there.
That's me.
Why 6 feet? Why not 1 foot? Why not 2 foot? Look up at satanic rituals, man.
You said you're a doctor, right?
I'm a doctor. I'm
Yeah. You're practicing?
family medicine.
Oh my God.
I'm learning a lot from you right now, actually.
Why is this vaccine different? It's not a vaccine. First of all, I never said it was a vaccine. It's actually not a vaccine. It's a genetic experiment. So, and it's the same experiment that was started back in Nazi Germany. So it's nothing new. And the DoD is the one who owns the patents. Anybody took a Pfizer is owned by Pfizer. Anybody take a Moderna is owned by Moderna. And they're calling the species Borg Genesis. It's not even a human anymore. It's called Borg Genesis.
What? It's not even human.
The people who
These
took the vaccine,
comparisons.
they're not considered human anymore. It's considered Borg Genesis.
Borg.
Yeah.
What
it's
now?
actually, if you want to read Todd Callender,
Wait, the people who got the vaccine are no longer human?
No, and
Wait, what the fuck is going on? The Borg? What the hell is this? What is this?
they're actually owned, they're enslaved by Pfizer or Moderna, whoever. So they're a Borg Genesis that's owned by Pfizer, or they're Borg Genesis that's owned by...
And there you have it. We are in Laguna Hills talking to people. Apparently, if you've taken the vaccine, you are no longer human. You feel bad for me?
You're drinking the Kool-Aid.
If you had to look at one of us and say who's drinking the Kool-Aid right now. What do you think about Anthony Fauci?
Oh my
She was
God,
throwing
I
chick.
can't believe he made it this far. No, the guy's gone.
What about him?
He's in Gitmo. So,
Really? Who else is in Gitmo besides Anthony Fauci?
you know, you got Hollywood there, you've got politicians, you've got elites. The Clintons are there, the Obamas are there. You know, it goes on and on.
What the
I
hell
don't
does
want
she
to be the
think
one to sit
Gitmo
here
is?
And misquote
What the
somebody or
hell
say
does she
something,
think
but-
Gitmo
You
is?
don't want to say anything irresponsible.
Exactly.
Yeah, right.
Pray for you, Secretary Kennedy. I hope we do better. I want you to do better. But today was a failure for you, man.
People are waking up.
Well, what would you say to someone who said that none of that makes any sense?
I would say, on the surface, I agree with you.
What? If someone said that doesn't make sense, I'd say on the surface, I do not agree. I agree with you. I mean, I do agree with you. I think I'm wrong. What? The fuck? Huh. Interesting. Well, what do we have next? Oh, God.
Welcome back and Alive Now. I'm Austin West.
This is,
Child. Guard troops once the not back down.
When do they start?
When that commitment was made,
This is in Memphis. Pam Bondi and Hegseth from 22 hours ago giving some sort of speech.
I found myself saying for the first time since I've been governor in 7 years, we just might, not we just might, we will see this great American city free of its crime. We will see Memphians once again be able to raise their family and live and work and worship and enjoy this great city like they should in an American city like Memphis. I'm very grateful to the president. I'm very grateful to his team, but I'm very grateful for you who are out there doing the hard work, who are putting yourselves in harm's way to keep harm away from Memphians. That's what's happening. That's what's begun this week.
I didn't know they were called Memphians.
The level of gratitude and the excitement that we have in my office and frankly
God,
across the
why
state
does
of
Pete
Tennessee,
Hegseth stand like such a douchebag?
for
What
once
is
again,
he
the excitement
doing?
that we have in my office and frankly across the state of Tennessee for what's happening here in
Damn.
Memphis, hard to measure. Thank you. Thank you for the work that you're doing. Thank you for everyone up on this stage.
How the heck did I start dragging the whole thing? Here comes Pam Bondi.
Thank you all for what you do. President Trump made it clear to all of us, and we know that Memphis is an iconic city, and we are going to make Memphis safe again. That's why we're here. We're working hand in hand with you. President Trump cares about you, and all of us care about you. All of the Memphis police officers, all of you, we are here to have your backs. All of the law enforcement officers in this room. You've got our backs, and we are going to have yours. And by the way, there's a federal shutdown right now. I don't know if you saw that in D.C. Well, we know crime doesn't
Don't know if you
shut
saw
down.
that.
And that's why we're all here.
I think
You
everyone's
work
seen.
24/7, and we're all working 24/7 to have your backs.
We're talking to police officers right now, and they don't know that the government is shut down. They need to no longer be police
This room,
officers.
DEA, ATF, FBI, U.S. Marshals, working hand in hand with HSI, all of Pete's Guard, all of our officers working hand in hand with you as a team. That's what we did in D.C., and that's what we're going to do here. We're going to keep you safe. And let me be very, very clear. I am a career prosecutor. If you touch a law enforcement officer, it is a crime, and you are going to jail. We are arresting anyone who touches any of you. If you touch a federal officer, it's going to be assault on a federal officer, and we have our U.S. attorney here. And to all of you
You really don't understand that law enforcement can't just go in, violate your rights, and then have the right to do that. They do not have the right to kidnap you. They do not have the right to do those things. And there are many places where things like defending your own home by even shooting a law enforcement officer that does not have the right to be there is totally legal and allowed and has been fought for repeatedly.
and local officers, let's see what your DA does, because he better prosecute crimes against you, because we have
She
your
sounds like she's about to cry. She sounds like she is about to cry out of like anger.
We know there is no ordinary day in the life of a police officer, and thank you for what you do, and thank your families. You are out here night and day. God bless you. We are here for you, and we will always be here for you. We are going to, this is long term. We are going to work hand in hand to make the most.
Yeah, she does sound like she's yelling at a neighbor about like some like fucking yard dispute or something.
God bless you, and God bless
She's like
America.
about to fuck. She's like crashing out and like about to say something horrific.
I'll just say what a privilege it is to be here. We see you up front, we see you in the back. I see green, blue, black, tan, camouflage. All together, one cause, one city. It's really cool to have the privilege, and we all do, Stephen, Pam, myself, so many others, to see how much President Trump loves Americans, American cities, and American citizens, and how he puts America first. And at the Department of War, we are proud to be part of that effort to ensure we're defending the homeland and defending those who defend the homeland. Whether it's our southwest border, where we brought it to 0 folks crossing illegally, whether
That's
it's in Los
statistically
Angeles, where we
impossible.
stand by our partners in ICE, who need to be able to have the ability to do their job anywhere in any American city. Whether it's Washington, D.C., ensuring our nation's capital is safe for citizens and visitors who come to visit that beautiful place, or right here in Memphis, where your families, every family, deserves to live safe and free. So I had a chance yesterday to talk a little bit how we're changing the environment at the Department of War.
Your speech was
I see.
pathetic. He's like, I just finally got a clap. I finally got a clap. That look on his face, he was not ready for someone to clap after he mentioned that.
Some
It's
great
like,
beards out here. They're just not allowed in the infantry anymore.
Oh my God.
Undercover, that's right.
Him and the fucking beards.
I just cannot thank you enough for what you do. What you do in difficult places, in dark places, in dangerous places, where politicians spend a lot of time second-guessing you. Second-guessing the impossible decisions that you have to make that they will never understand. It's part of what we're trying to do at the department for our troops overseas or in combat and elsewhere. Is we're not here to second-guess you. We're here to have your back, to unleash you to do your job so you come home safely. Our department is here to enable you, law enforcement, to do your job, to help protect your facilities, help protect your people, so that your hands can be untied to secure your city. So our department's proud to be here. It's a priority for us. The Tennessee National Guard's going to be right here having your back. Godspeed, God bless.
The
Thank you for
National
everything you
Guard
do.
isn't allowed to work in a law enforcement capacity. Jesus Christ.
Thank you, Pete, Gaddy, Pam.
And I didn't even realize Stephen Miller was here.
For not only being here today, but for the invitation to your state to bring the full resources of the federal government to making Memphis safer than any of you could ever possibly imagine. To the Memphis Police Department, to the officers that I see sitting in front of me, we are about to provide you with a level of support you cannot even imagine. This isn't just a task force. This is a all-of-government unlimited support operation. ATF, DEA, FBI, ICE, Department of War, every resource we have. And they're not going to be sitting behind a desk at a keyboard. We are sending in real cops with guns and badges to go out with you on the street every single night making arrests. These are people who have taken down drug cartels, kingpins, the worst criminal offenders in the United States, standing with you shoulder to shoulder to shoulder. All we ask from you is to show up at roll call every single night with your brothers and sisters in the federal government and to go out and get the criminals off the street. And if you do that, I pledge to you, we will liberate this city from the criminal element that has plagued it for generations. This is not just a strategy shift. This is an attitude shift.
What?
We are not going to live in an environment anywhere where there is a street that belongs to a criminal, where there is a neighborhood that belongs to a gang, where there is any physical space anywhere that belongs to anyone other than the law-abiding citizens and families of Memphis. The idea that there is a square inch of block in this city where a citizen doesn't feel safe is unacceptable. This is Memphis. This is the United States of America, and all that bullshit is done. It's over. It's finished.
This guy wanted to, like, grow up in Nazi Germany so fucking bad.
You know, the gangbangers that you deal with, they think that they're ruthless. They have no idea how ruthless we are. They think they're tough. They have no idea how tough we are. They think that they're hardcore. We are so much more hardcore than they are.
I don't think anyone who would be, quote, hardcore has to say, I don't think they're hardcore. We are so much more hardcore than they are. We're so much more hardcore than they are. They have no idea who they're dealing with. It is me, Princess. Stephen Miller.
And we have the entire weight of the United States government behind us.
Call me
What
Pee
do
Wee
they
German.
have? They have nothing behind them. So we are going to win. They are going to lose. We are going to rescue Memphis, and it will not only be safer
Yeah,
than
that's his
before,
gamer tag.
but businesses and investment are going to pour in, and Memphis will be richer than
And
ever
his
before.
clan tag is
Because
Mayo.
President Trump has decided this is a priority, and when President Trump makes a decision, this team behind me today executes. Thank you, and God bless.
Building tradesmen near Tribune Tower.
Why is this man talking like a minister of war? Because he genuinely is trying to be like Joseph Goebbels. He really likes Joseph Goebbels. He actually used the We're the Storm speech from Goebbels recently at Charlie Kirk's funeral.
Simply doing their jobs were detained by federal agents while working on a construction site.
That's from 2 days ago.
24 federal agents chased down a man, handcuffed him, and asked him for his papers. Meanwhile, ICE's chief offender, Gregory Bovino, has been leading the disruption and causing mayhem while he gleefully poses for photo ops and TikTok videos. Bovino even admitted on the record that they are making arrests based on how you look. They're not targeting violent criminals or gang members. They're arresting tamale vendors and delivery men and shaking down families. Donald Trump and Kristi Noem and Tom Homan said they were targeting the worst of the worst criminals. They lied, and they continue to lie. 60% of the individuals that ICE has taken in Illinois this year have no criminal convictions of any kind. ICE is running around the loop harassing people for not being white. Just a year ago, that was illegal in the United States. Now, ICE is making it commonplace. That's not making America great. In any other country, if federal agents fired upon journalists and protesters when unprovoked, what would we call it? If federal agents marched down busy streets, harassing civilians and demanding their papers, what would we say? I don't think we'd have any trouble calling it what it is: authoritarianism. So let's not pretend it's something else when it happens in our American cities. The MAGA Republican-supported invasion of Portland and Chicago and LA and Washington, D.C. is not making us any safer. Instead, it is putting our people in danger. This is an attack on neighborhoods, on lawful residents, on U.S. citizens.
Mm-hmm.
That's not preventing crime, as Donald Trump claims. That's threatening public safety.
All right, and let's see what else we have. Oh, it's only in my right ear this time? That never happens. That, like, literally never happens.
Good. We're on day 2, unfortunately, of a government
It's
shutdown.
jarring,
The president,
actually.
Vice President, the entire team here will continue to work and talk to members on the Hill to try and come to a resolution, to try to encourage Democrats to muster up the courage to do the right thing. And we believe there will be a vote taking place tomorrow, and we hope that vote will lead to the government reopening. That's what the president wants to see, and that's what we're working on today. John.
Yesterday, Vice President Henry Thune, by your side, expressed this optimism that he thinks this shutdown is going to be a short shutdown. Do you share that optimism? Does the president share that optimism?
I do. I think we all.
How would this be a short shutdown? How exactly would this be short?
We know Democrats know they are doing the wrong thing by shutting the government down. You can see it when they're answering questions. You can hear it in their voice. There is zero good reason for them to vote to shut the government down right now. They are doing it for political reasons. They are doing it because they want to give taxpayers.
She looks even older now, being outside. Being outside in the sunlight.
Resoundingly rejected ahead of the election last year. That's why they reelected President Trump in a large part. And so Democrats know what the right thing to do is, and it's to reopen the federal.
Caroline.
I'm sorry?
Some books doesn't catch on fire. Yeah, right.
Not a question for me to answer. I think that's a question for healthcare professionals and legal experts.
Captions, you're right.
There
you go.
Hand is in the way.
Because her makeup is done for indoor lighting? Yeah, indoor lighting, true.
Let me ask you, do you think that illegal aliens should receive Medicaid benefits? Medicaid benefits that go to the most vulnerable people in our country. That Medicaid benefits that were designed to help low-income families and Americans in our country. And what the Biden administration did here is they allowed tens of millions of illegal aliens from all over the world to come into our country. Yes, and they
Untrue.
rolled them into the system. And you cover immigration.
Completely
you know
untrue.
well. It was a complete abuse of our immigration system, and they slapped a Band-Aid on these illegals. They called it temporary protective status, and then they allowed those illegals from all over the world to get free benefits. And you know who would like free benefits? Hardworking Americans who work
You're
their
taking
butts
it
off
away
every
from
day,
Americans.
who
What
are
are you?
living
What do you
paycheck to
mean?
paycheck because of the Biden-induced inflation crisis. And there were higher wait times at hospitals under the Biden administration. We saw these illegals committing crimes all over our country, and they're getting things for free. That is fundamentally unfair in this administration.
I'll never not be sure that I'm the same age. Yeah.
Gabe, I don't speak for emergency rooms across the country. I speak for the President of the United States, and that's what he believes on this policy.
Do not ask me.
So you raise your hand, I can see it. Step to your left if you can.
We haven't wanted to negotiate. We just want to keep the government open. That's been the Republican and the Trump White House position since the very beginning. We wanted to pass a clean continuing resolution.
Yeah, you don't want to negotiate with the
to keep
Democrats at all.
open, and then we can
You don't want to negotiate with anyone.
policy matters. It's the Democrats.
How
who
old is she?
injected
She's like, I think,
partisan
28, right?
politics into
27,
keeping the
28.
government in the business of the American people.
Fairly young. And her husband's like 60.
Democrats have voted for the clean continuing resolution that Republicans introduced 13 times in the past. 13 times. They voted for it as recently as March. And now all of a sudden they are shutting the government down and they are holding our country hostage.
Oh, gee, I wonder
over
what
a
has changed.
partisan political matter that the vast majority of the country disagrees with. And they know it's so unpopular that they're now running away from it. I saw some senators on television this morning saying, we don't want to give health care benefits to illegal aliens. Yes, you do. Roll the tape. You can see time and time again, Democrats have supported that. They've
Where?
voted for it,
When?
and they did it under Joe Biden. And we stopped it. The president stopped it with the passage of the One Big Beautiful Bill. And now they want to undo the president's very popular policy to ensure that taxpayer-funded health care
She looks 36.
only go to
Yeah.
tax-paying, law-abiding
Yep.
American citizens. Look, it's likely going to be in the thousands. It's a very good question, and that's something that the Office of Management and Budget and the entire team at the White House here, again, is unfortunately having to work on today. These discussions and these conversations, these meetings would not be happening if the
I thought
Democrats
she was
had
from the
voted to
voice
keep
the
the
first time I
government.
saw her. Yeah. Yeah. It's the makeup and the attitude and the in her lips and the. It's everything. It's everything.
He wants this war to end, but he has also said if both sides aren't serious about ending
The
war,
wrinkles.
the
The,
United States of America will continue to sell weapons to NATO, and NATO can use those weapons however they want with respect to Ukraine.
Caroline, the president said today to talk about which Democrat agencies recommend to be cut. What agencies are on the table for that conversation?
good question.
Those conversations are taking place today. I won't prejudge them. I won't get ahead of them.
Even anything that's
No answer.
considered right now. These are Democrat agencies.
Yeah. What does he mean?
Look, we're going to look at agencies that don't align with the administration's values. That
Oh,
we
so
feel
that
are
makes them
waste of
Democrat
taxpayer dollars.
industries. I see.
And look, unfortunately, these conversations are happening because we don't have any money coming into the federal government right now. And so the president wants to be a good steward of the American taxpayer dollar during a time when our balance sheet is looking very grim because the Democrats chose to shut the government down. determination for our policy team to make. But this letter went out to multiple universities, as you know, and it's really a sign of encouragement for them to work alongside the administration to do what's right for their students in terms of ensuring free speech, in terms of preventing some of the
Free speech, huh?
and illegal behavior that we saw ravaging our college campuses last year.
Caroline.
Steve, I heard you had another foreign policy question. Yes. So
Good night, boyo.
The president made it very clear he wants to hear back from them very soon. I will leave
Alright, that's her last thing, and here we have one last thing over here.
Escalation of ICE tactics against the residents of Chicago. In the middle of the night, hundreds of armed
I think a lot of us could run the country better than them.
backed up by riot trucks, smoke grenades, and helicopters, breached fences and busted doors in an immigration raid on an entire apartment building on the city's south side. They pulled dozens of residents from their homes and zip ties, including children, some of them without any clothes. They then held some outside for hours and dragged the others into rented vans.
Jesus Christ.
It was scary because I've never had a gun put in my face.
Neighbors like Ebony Watson says they ducked for cover as they heard several flashbangs go off.
They was terrified. The kids was crying. People was screaming. They looked very distraught. I was out there crying when I seen the little girl come around the corner. Because they was bringing the kids out too. Had them zip tied to each other. One of them literally laughed. He was standing right here. He said, them kids.
They zip tied the kids together. ICE put out a statement saying they were pursuing Trinidad Grant.
Yes, TDA. Let's detain everyone in an entire apartment complex.
But U.S. citizens living in the building say they were detained too. The cops told them that if they had any unrelated warrants, they wouldn't be going back home. 37 people were ultimately arrested after agents separated children from their parents on the street. And if you're looking at this and asking yourself, how is this legal? That is the right question to ask.
It's not legal.
And it has kind of an answer. And to understand it, you have to go back to Los Angeles this summer, where federal immigration agents started pushing the envelope on orders from the White House. They raided Home Depot parking lots and Walmart lots, and they grabbed people they saw.
They're not exactly spec ops. This is like the gravy, like not even the gravy seals. These are mostly white supremacists and things like that. Cops that would like abuse their power. A lot of them ended up being white supremacists too, who would apply for a job where they really wanted to be in the military. And now they just go and get to attack people on the streets.
Masked agents with batons grabbed Narcisco Barranco, who has lived in the U.S. for more than 30 years and has 3 sons serving in the Marine Corps. Agents beat Barranco on the ground, dislocating his shoulder before detaining him. In Van Nuys,
Like, look at these fucking guys.
This, sending patrons and workers
What
scrambling
the hell?
before the 79-year-old raided a car
What?
wash. This, sending patrons and workers scrambling.
Like, what is this ICE officer doing? What is this guy doing?
In Van Nuys, agents raided a car wash.
Look at how he fucking runs even.
Before the 79-year-old owner, who is a U.S. citizen named
Jesus
Rafi,
Christ.
tried to ask them what they were doing.
That is when Rafi was taken.
There is no way that all of these ICE officers have passed some sort of fucking fitness training test. There's no way with the way they're like treating random people. They've had anything, even just rules presented to them. I don't even think like they know probably basic constitutional rights. I feel like you could probably ask them like, hey, what's the First Amendment? They have no idea. I imagine 99.9% of them would just be like, yeah, I got no idea. What the hell is an amendment?
Injured in the process.
How much do they pay these people? A fucking ton now. So they put another like $1 trillion. So the budget for them is now higher than most other countries' military budgets. They're now giving people like a $50,000 sign-on bonus, as well as like, I can't even, it's like 80 to 90K a year or some shit. They're giving them a ton of stuff.
This is my elbow since a week ago.
Oh my God.
And this is my arm.
Rafi says he and 5 others at his car wash were taken to a federal detention center downtown. We're still working to learn more about why they were detained.
And that man is not alone.
Look how you got my hand. You're twisting that
American, bro. Yo, these guys are literally based off of skin color.
Yep, blatant Fourth Amendment violation.
My homie was born here just because of the way he looks.
Agents kept stopping people they suspected of being
Here they all have masks
for
on.
no reason other than
Of
they
course,
weren't
they all have masks
obviously
on.
white. Like Brian Gavidia, the man you saw there, the 29-year-old American. He wasn't arrested, but he says agents went through his phone for 20 minutes and kept his real ID card.
Holy
Now,
shit!
these are obvious
They kept his ID.
constitutional civil.
You know why they kept his ID? Do you know why they kept his ID? That way, the next time a random fucking ICE officer, little Gestapo piece of shit, walks up to him, that way he doesn't have it. That way he will be detained and potentially brought to somewhere else to sit there for fucking days or weeks.
Rights, their right to equal protection, and the freedom from unlawful searches and seizures. And victims filed a class action lawsuit. And after an entire bench trial, a federal judge sided with those victims and ended the ICE sweeps. And in her ruling, she wrote, "It is illegal
Paramilitary
to
state.
conduct
Yep.
roving patrols which identify people based upon race alone, aggressively question them, and then detain them without a warrant, without their consent."
Technically, they're
without
federal
reasonable
agents,
suspicion
but
that
working
they're
within
status.
states.
Yes,
but,
it is. Yes, it is.
Yeah.
An appeals court upheld her injunction against ICE. You have to stop doing this. And so the Trump administration took the issue to the Supreme Court. And lo and behold, last month, the court's 6-3 conservative majority voted to just let Trump and ICE continue for now, as the case works its way up, to use racial profiling in their immigration raids, halting the lower court's decision.
Yep. And the Supreme Court said that they can look back at any other cases now. They're like, yeah, we'll just look back at anything else. We could do that. No decision is final, of course.
Now, they gave no reasoning or explanation for their decision, silent, except Justice Brett Kavanaugh, who wrote a short concurring opinion saying there's absolutely no problem whatsoever with racially motivated stops by law enforcement. Quote, "If the officers learn the individual they stopped is a U.S. citizen or otherwise lawfully in the U.S., they promptly let the individual go." Welcome to the era of what critics call the Kavanaugh stop. Carte blanche for ICE to continue violent, warrantless raids and stops all over the country to undocumented immigrants, lawful residents, and American citizens alike, like Leonardo Garcia Venegas. You see him there.
It's not about them not liking having a cheap workforce. I mean, you can look at it similarly to like Nazi Germany, where they're pointing out just like something to rile up the masses for hatred towards certain individuals, to take away from all of the things that they're doing wrong, and blaming a specific group of people for all of the problems in society. So everything is, oh, we can't get houses because there's illegal immigrants here buying all the houses. Oh, but they have like the jobs that don't pay them. So how are they buying the houses? And like they just say everything fucking backwards and forwards and upside down. Like it's unfortunate,
Being
like what we
roughly
see. But
by ICE agents on a construction site where he was working, Vargas showed the agents his real ID as proof of citizenship, and they told him he was lying. And it took hours to get him out of custody, so not exactly expeditious. And then, get this, 2 weeks later, ICE arrested him again at another work site.
oh my
He's now
God.
suing the government. The consequence of all this is what we're seeing now in the dead of night in Chicago. Dozens of federal agents raiding an entire apartment building with kids in it
hell?
just to see what they can find.
This dude's got his fucking gun out with like his flashlight, just staring at the outside of an apartment complex. Like if you have these people
It's the most
that they
egregious
have
abuse
doing
of our
this.
basic rights as Americans I've seen in a long time, maybe my lifetime. And it comes 2 weeks.
Was he pointing at someone just up in the window?
Homeland Security Kristi Noem posted a hype video of another violent ICE raid with helicopters and grenades, this time on a house in the Chicago suburbs. And guess what? 2 U.S. citizens were mistakenly arrested. You know, there's a reason the American founders put the right to be free from unlawful searches and seizures in the Bill of Rights from the start. Masked secret police profiling people and now targeting entire apartment buildings, making everyone prove they're not guilty of something, is the province of tyrants. It is the opposite of American.
Uh-huh.
And I don't think Americans will stand for it, nor should they.
They definitely shouldn't, but I think, unfortunately, a lot of them will continue licking the boots until those boots are so fucking clean you could eat dinner off of them. And that, I mean, they think that for some reason they're going to get to wear them at the end of it, but you don't get to wear the boots. The boots are just to step on their neck. Well, everybody, this is where we are going to end it for tonight. We have technically there's like a super long thing we could watch, but we're not going to watch something right now that ends up being like 2 hours long. So we are going to end it here. Good night, everyone. Thank you for hanging out with me. Thanks for being here. We'll be on tomorrow on TikTok, 5 o'clock until 9 Eastern Standard Time. Then over on here, 9-ish till whenever. Like usual. Musical, good night. Hemingway, Dragons. Ankara line. Eventually I'll be able to pronounce your name. Good night, Stoner Chick, Crafty, Trademark, Lucifer's, Stingray, Oubliette. Good night, good night, good night, good night. Good night, good night, good night, good night, good night. I don't know if I was enough, but there you go. Corey, good night. You can say both of mine, kudos. I got you. Mootiful, good night. Corey, we're going to give Bubby a treat. Let's see if he comes in.
Buddy, you want a treat?
Oh, he does. He does. He wants one. He wants one of these little things. Come here. Come on up. There he is. Good night. Bubby says good night. Bubby says good night. Good night, everybody. See you tomorrow.